Uh, Good afternoon, everyone, my brothers and sisters, my mothers and fathers, my daughters and sons, my nephews and nieces, my cousins from across the world. My name is Adi Adileye, and I did a video a few minutes ago, but it seems it did not record, or there was some sort of fault in it, and it was kind of darker than it is now. But I hope I get it right this time. And I just want to introduce myself to you today. Like I told you, my name is Ade Adele. Uh, I want to be talking about the Omoluabi ethos, the Omoluabi self-recognition. Uh, Lately, there has been groups, national groups, nationalities within Nigeria wanting to exit Nigeria. Uh, as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing wrong with it because it's called self determination. There's nothing wrong with self determination. It's the way you go about it that might be questionable. But in my own case, I believe in self recognition. I want us, the Yoruba people, to be able to recognize ourselves and determine for ourselves where we want to go next in this chapter of human existence. The question we should ask ourselves is do we want to remain where we, we were pushed by higher forces to be, or do we want to go where we see ourselves as uh, belonging to, or where we're wanted, or where we can actually uh, 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 make exploits, grow from within ourselves. One of the things lacking in African existence is that the most important thing about African existence, African states, is that uh, they did not grow organically. They did not grow from themselves. They were planted and supplanted. A lot of hard mixtures and mixtures. Uh, that's why I blame a lot of Pan-African movements and personalities. Because, for instance, if you go to Italy, you see the Italians. However, in Italy, there are several ethnicities within Italy that are the same, one and the same, just like we have Yoruba land. We have several ethnicities in Yoruba land. I don't know if I'm correct there about using the word ethnicity. Uh, we have the Yoruba language, the general Yoruba language. Then we now have sub-Yoruba groups like the Jebus, the Egbas, the Aworis, the Jishas, the Ilajes, the Ikitis, and so on and so forth. I'm going to be talking about our existence within the Nigerian nation. Uh, in order to have an effective communication, the way you communicate says a lot about how bad or how criminal or how offensive what you're saying is. I'm going to try as much as possible to make sure I say the right thing for the right reasons and making sure that I do not contradict any power, any existing power. Uh, because àmọ́ nǹkan tá a lè sọ tó lè lòdì sófin. So in this my intro, I'm just going to say a few things. There are a lot of agitators who are in the social media space that I've spoken to. And one of the things I told them is that our elites, political elites, they are not actually listening to what we're saying, because we tend to appeal to a particular section of the Yoruba society, whereas we need to appeal to all the country. Àtàwọn tó gbóyìnbó, àtàwọn tó ń gbóyìnbó, àtàwọn tó ń lọ léèwé, àtàwọn tó ń lọ léèwé, you know, àtàwọn tó jẹ́ Kristẹni, àtàwọn tó jẹ́ Muslim, àtàwọn tó ń bọfá, tó ń bọfá borúbọyè, àtàwọn tó ń tiẹ̀ lọ anywhere. What should be uppermost in our mind is propagating the Omoluabi ethos. And that's going to be the bedrock of my broadcast from time to time. It will be the foundation of my political broadcast, economic broadcast. Whenever I talk politically, economically, military, God forbid me, I'm not a military personnel. But in terms of defending the Yoruba people, I'm going to be using the Omoluabi ethos as the bedrock. Báwa Yorùbá bá ṣe lè gbèjà ara wa, bá ṣe lè propagate ara, bá ṣe lè expand. That's what I'm going to be talking about. I spoke to Omoluka, I spoke to Koiki, and I told them, on certain terms, that they can choose a day in 7 days, a day, 2 days, and use those days, dedicate those days to appeal to our elites. Because so many times our elites, they are not actually hearing what we are saying. They are not really understanding the reason for Yoruba recognition amongst Committee of Nations in Nigeria. Again, I'll go back to the fact that we in Africa, the entire Africa country, except Ethiopia, we were not really given the chance to grow organically. Ethiopia grew organically. They are the only African country that were not colonized. So, in fact, the mighty Italian army, Roman army in those days could not defeat them. So it says a lot about who they are then and now. From their organic growth, they have been able to achieve a separation between two different cultures, the Eritreans and the Ethiopians. So much for that. And I also want us to understand our so-called elites. The idea of education, the reason why we go to university is not to showcase, is not only to showcase what we learn, but it's to showcase what we know, what we understand, and what we can bring, the perspective we can bring into our environment. Man so far, from time to time, that what I learned, I read international relations, and what I learned, one of the things I learned was from one of my lecturers, David Moran. I don't know if he's still alive now. Is that we come to university not to repeat the sayings of some past philosophers. Every little time we are faced with new questions, but it's to come up with our own ideas to face that time. to face that particular question, I like to quote myself. I like to come up with new quotes, new ideas to address new situations. I have said one of my quotes, which I saw in the last 5 years or thereabout, every international system requires local adaptation. Àwọn òyìnbó ti gbé democracy wá, but are we are we can't we realize that even the word democracy is practiced differently from country to country? Why can't we create our own democracy? I get it. Because we're in a country that we did not define ourselves. The foundation is wrong. That is why we've not been able to come up with any political idea that would stand the test of time in Nigeria. Wọ́n ní amúkùnrẹ̀rù owó lórí ìsàlẹ̀ ló ń borí wọ̀. That means the foundation is wrong. We have to remember, we have to constantly remind ourselves how we became Nigeria. It is not that difficult. It is not that complicated. Why are we why are we living in denial that Nigeria of today was a creation of powers mightier than us? We'll be flogging the issue. We'll be flogging the issue. We continue to say how we became Nigeria. It's unnecessary. That boat has sailed. What should be in our mind is, where do we go from here? With Sorrow Foundation, I am a Christian. No apologies. I am a Christian. But I believe in my Yoruba culture. My Yoruba culture comes first. Culture comes first. My religion has nothing to do with my culture. There is a part of the scripture that says, if the foundation be wrong, what can the righteous do? Despite my being a Christian, my name is Adil. Don't forget, I did not name myself, although I have my biblical name, but Emi Pera ni Ade. Torí ọmọ Adé ni. But àwọn kan wọ́n máa pera wọn ní Stephen, all these other names from the Bible. I have nothing against it. Àwọn kan kẹ̀lẹ̀ wọ́n á pera wọn ní Abdul Malik, Samir, and all that. Lala. But where I'm angry is when you ask a Yoruba, what's your name? And they give you a foreign name first. Nígbà tó ń dẹ̀ sọ pé ilé là ń wò ká tó sọmọ lórúkọ. Orúkọ ń ro ni, àpèjáde ń ròyìn. Ẹ má jẹ́ àgbàgbé. Now, going back to my intro, this ranting, this is my first, I call it rantings because we really introduce Arab see the public a gbọ́dọ̀ mọ́ra. Àgbà ni wá, adìẹ funfun ni wá, a dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ mọ́ra wa lágbà. We're white cockerel. Anywhere you go, the white cockerel is unique. So we should see ourselves as white cockerel. And we must see ourselves as, you know what I mean? Unique. Now, moving forward, I'm going to be speaking about the self-recognition of the Yoruba people a lot. And màá gbàdúrà kí Elédùmarè kó ràn mí lọ́wọ́. Kí n má kó sí pápẹ́ ayé. Kí n má kó sí pápẹ́ ìjọba. Yet, and at the same time, to be able to say the things that matters, to be able to go into the minds of our people, the Yoruba people. So, that is why I'm doing this video. The first one I did it for 28 minutes. Every single video that I come up with will not be more than 30 minutes. It will be inside 30 minutes, 30 minutes on the dot. No matter what I want to say, no matter what I want to say, it must end within 30 minutes. And I want our people in my subsequent videos, I will remind our people that ọ̀rọ̀ kọ́ ló lè fún wa ní recognition. Èébú kọ́ ló lè fún wa ní recognition. Ìjà kọ́ ló lè fún wa ní recognition. Àwọn Yorùbá ní lówe lówe là ń lùlù àgídìgbò. Ọlọ́gbọ́n ní ń jó, ọ̀mọ̀ràn nísìnyí mọ̀. The drums of the àgídìgbò is beat proverbially. You beat the drums of àgídìgbò in Proverbs. It is the wise that can dance to it, and it is the knowledgeable that can understand it. Hold that. Point number one. Hold that. Each time I speak, reference that. Use that as the basis to understand what I'm actually saying. Sometimes I will say things, you will hear it. Or sometimes I want you to listen to what I'm not saying. And what I'm not saying might be more important than what I actually said at your heart. So, in the pursuit of self-recognition for the Yoruba people, we need a vibrant leadership. A leadership that speaks to the desires of the Omoluabi ethos. Remember, the Yorubas don't choose leaders. Leaders emerge. Oduduwa emerged. Awolowo emerged. In between them, a few leaders emerged from different sections of the Yoruba society. Lishabi, Ogedengbe Agbogunboro, Shongo, and so many others like that. They emerged. And it's the same today until we're able to design for ourselves as the Omoluabi ethos, as our bedrock, as our foundation, to design our political existence. On my own, because of what I've learned so far, there's a particular ideology that I'm seriously in tune with. And that's the benevolent conservatism. Because either you like it or not, naturally, because the law of natural precedence, if ever that exists, we are conservatives in nature, our Yoruba. So whatever we do, wherever we go from here, must be based on that. And today is not the day. It requires a whole day, a whole topic on its own. How to expatiate conservative, benevolent conservatives. Could be nuanced in several ways and all that. But that's for another day. So, in continuation with my rantings, the beginning, mo fẹ́ jẹ́ kí a mọ̀ pé things are not right with Nigeria. Things are not right in Nigeria. Let me say that again. Things are not right with Nigeria. Things are not right in Nigeria. Things are not right with Nigerians. That's about 3. With Nigeria, in Nigeria, and with Nigerians. So we have to deconstruct things and then reconstruct it. And it's in that process that I want us, the Yoruba people, to recognize ourselves. Ebo, it is in that process I want we Nigerians to deconstruct Nigeria, reconstruct Nigeria, and recognize ourselves. So I hope this video records because I've done it once. It just stripped past a recording of 28 minutes 53 seconds. Just stripped past in 2 seconds. I don't know what I did wrong, but hopefully I should be able to record this. I'm trying to see if there's something I've not clicked that I needed to click. I can't see anything from here. I can't see anything. I'm not saying that I'm IT savvy, but with the little that I know, that brought me here, that I'm not doing this video, I've done a little bit. And most of the time, all of the time, if not most of the time, if not all of the time, I will not be editing my videos. It will be undiluted. I want you to hear me as I am. Commander, okay, what is your kúrò, what is she kúrò, and all that. So, no, it's going to be undiluted. Me as I am, because I see one thing I always say of myself is that I speak the truth, even if my own ox is God. Even if that truth is inconvenient, I will say it. It is important. So my video largely is going to be speaking to the hearts and minds of our elites and the rest of the Yoruba people. Because Kunije Turenchi, Nikon Mamaso, Mama Dapo, I will be speaking in Yoruba. Sometimes I will even speak in my mother tongue, which is the larger language in Ondo State. Because there are times I want to express certain things, but for it to have the depth that is necessary, I might have to say it in Laje or say it in Yoruba. As a matter of fact, say it in English sometimes because it depends on what you're talking about. So there is no better way to speak. There is no better way to communicate than effective. If your communication is not effective, then you're not speaking to anyone. You might as well be ranting. Like I'm ranting today, but my ranting is for a purpose. It has to be purposeful. So, I hope this time this video is right. I think we might have a better picture quality as against the first one I did because we see lightning, we see where can the match video so that the light from the ceiling can actually bear down on me and make me more visible. Àkọjá ewé mi rèé ẹ̀yin ọba tó láyé ẹ jẹ́ kó jí mi ṣe o Elédùmarè ẹlẹ́dàá mi jẹ́ kó ṣeé ṣe o ọ̀rọ̀ mi èrò ọkàn mi jẹ́ kó jẹ́ ìtẹ́wọ́gbà lọ́dọ̀ rẹ Elédùmarè àti kó jẹ́ ìtẹ́wọ́gbà lọ́dọ̀ àwọn tó bá máa fetí gbọ́ tó dẹ̀ máa fojú wọn wò mí Elédùmarè mo mọ̀ pé ó ní nǹkan tí mò ń ṣe lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá bí ẹnu wa ṣe máa kò bí a ṣe máa ní ìlọsíwájú bí a ṣe máa di ẹni ńlá tí ìwọ Elédùmarè pè wá òun ni mò ń lọ fún òun ni mò ń sọ òun fẹ́ máa sọ òun ni mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe gbogbo aṣọ là ń sá sóòrùn Elédùmarè jẹ́ kó yẹ mí o jẹ́ kó yẹ mí o jẹ́ kó yẹ ìran Yorùbá o, jẹ́ kó yẹ ìran Yorùbá o. Àṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.